truck. Looks like it's got a snowplow on it. That's a police van. And look at this. This is where the protests were. This is where the violence was. Barricades there. Look at that. And a burnt out bus. The train station is closed and there's armed guards out there with guns. So let's leave that alone. Check this bus out. This bus has been completely smashed in. All the windows look like they've been, almost all the windows look like they've been smashed in. So I think this was one of the buses that got damaged during the violence in Colombo. Maybe there was some violence here as well. We're currently at Botenta, which is fairly close to Colombo, to be honest with you. So the driver maybe lives in Botenta and he takes his bus, because this is a private bus, to Colombo. Look, you got the indicators, they've been ripped out. You got nearly all the windows, or at least 50% of the windows are smashed in. You can see them there. See the broken glass here. I mean, that just looks like it's just going to come out. Maybe it was broken here. I don't know. There's a little bit of glass here, but you'd think if it was broken here, there'd be more glass on the floor. But look at that. Just really smashed it in. You've got dudes with guns around. And there's the front. Both windows smashed in. Driver's door's not smashed in though. You got lights here broken. The bumper's broken. But you can tell it's not crashed. This is vandalism. This is the bus being attacked. So maybe it had anti-government protest. No, maybe it had the pro-government protesters on there. Who knows? I've got quite a few things to say in this video. I'm going to be really quick. The first half of this video is going to be me describing what it's like to travel Sri Lanka right now during these current curfews and these difficult times for the Sri Lankans, basically. I'm going to be helping you decide whether you should travel Sri Lanka right now in this current climate and the situation. Go through the pros and cons of traveling in Sri Lanka, whether it's safe or not, and also I've got an absolutely huge update for the channel, so keep watching. A lot of people are asking me if Sri Lanka is safe right now because of the sort of violence that erupted about a week and a half ago in the capital in Colombo, where 8 people were killed. The Prime Minister basically resigned, and so there were pro-government people that were really angry at this, so they got some buses to Colombo and they basically started attacking the area of protest, like the gazebos, the people, these sorts of things. A bit of a violent situation going on in Colombo. Because of that, the government set up a curfew across the country where you were not allowed to go outside pretty much. You had to stay indoors. Shops were shut, all businesses were shut, restaurants were shut. I was stuck up in Jaffna, which is the north of Sri Lanka. Now, because no tourists go up there, it was a very authentic experience in the curfew, meaning that absolutely everything was shut, there was nothing to do, and that it was like that for a good few days in Jaffna. Now, one thing I will say is that if you're in Aragon Bay or Marissa or in any of the beach destinations, any of the real touristy destinations, the curfew isn't so much of an issue. Yeah, most of the businesses shut, most of the restaurants shut, but a couple of them do stay open. They really just leave you alone. If you just go to the beach, do your normal thing, go and surf, tan up. If you come into Sri Lanka for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you just want to do, you know, the real tourist hotspots, because there's plenty of them, really beautiful places, then that's not really going to affect you so much during the curfews. You can go out and do all of the interesting things in the beauty of the sea, the ocean, the mountains, whatever. If you're in the nature, it's not so much of an issue, but when you're in a city like Jaffna where there's not much tourism going on, it can be a bit of an issue. The main issue in Sri Lanka right now for tourists is the lack of diesel. They've not had any diesel or oil or gas imports for a while now, and it doesn't look like they're going to have any in the near foreseeable future. If you're a tourist that's not super budget, you know, budget backpacker, meaning that you don't have to rely on public transport, then it's not so much of an issue, because there are always private vans you can get from A to B in your private AC air-conditioned car, no problem whatsoever. There's plenty of tour agencies that are providing this. Because of the diesel, I think there's going to be a lot less buses going on. If you've got the money, you know, the medium to upper budget, then that's not going to affect you at all, because you can just get private cars. But I have got a very small budget. Like, in the past, I don't know, in the past 28 days, I've earned about $240. So that's my monthly earnings. So I have a very small budget. So I rely on public transport, and that I can really see that. I can predict in the near future that's going to be probably an issue, and all of the locals are telling me this as well. If you are, I don't know, just coming to Sri Lanka for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, just to chill out on the beach, maybe go to a few places up in the tea mountains like Kandy and Ella, that kind of place, then I don't think it's much of an issue. I think you should still go to Sri Lanka, because there's although there was violence in Colombo, there's no violence towards any tourists. Just don't go to the protests. Don't join in any protests. Stay out of Colombo, really. You can go to Kandy, Ella, all these places. They're not really affected by any of the protests or anything like this. These are all real tourist towns. They're lovely places. They're beautiful. And yeah, I would recommend it. Now, if you're someone that wants to travel around, backpack on a budget, you still can. There's nothing stopping you. It's just you're gonna really feel the power cuts, which the government are predicting are gonna end up maybe getting to 12-13 hours for some of the days. So if you're a budget backpacker, you're not gonna have the money to pay for a place that has a generator. So you might have power cuts up to 12 hours potentially. It hasn't been quite like that recently, but there's been a lot more power cuts. The other day it was cut for 9 hours of the waking day. That was not comfortable because it was really hot. Fan didn't work, and the shower didn't work. They didn't have any. It wasn't hot. Didn't even have any water because the pump wasn't working. So these are some issues of budget backpacking in Sri Lanka right now. Like I say, there's also the potential risk of not having so many buses and trains and things like this because the lack of diesel. One issue that I had is a massive issue. I was planning on going to India. In fact, it might be time to tell you that I'm not actually in Sri Lanka right now. I had my last week of Sri Lanka, my 3 months ran out on my visa. I'm not in India. I plan to be in India right now. I'm in a different country as to what I planned. See if you guys can guess it. I'm just on a rooftop right now in my hotel. Now, hopefully there's no national flags, but let's see if you can just guess it from the architecture. What happened is I cannot apply for an e-visa because I'm a UK citizen for India right now. I don't know why. There's something going on politically. There are 2 places in Sri Lanka where we can get the Indian visa. One place was Jaffna. We were heading to Jaffna. The next day we were planning on just applying for this visa. We get to Jaffna, curfew happens. We're stuck in curfew. The government offices aren't open, and by the time it had opened, it was too late for them to be able to process it in time. So we ended up having to pay for a really expensive flight. It has been really, really stressful that last week of being in Sri Lanka. We've just literally left, just landed in another country. See if you can guess it from the buildings. I'll be impressed if you can. But before this Sri Lanka series ends, I've still got a good 3, 4, maybe 5 videos. I'm very sad to have left Sri Lanka. I absolutely love the country. I'm going to go there again. New series is going to start on my channel very soon once this Sri Lanka series finishes this week. And I'm extremely excited to be in this country. It's a country I've always wanted to travel to, and I think the series are going to be really, really good. Hopefully you've been able to decide whether you should go to Sri Lanka or not right now. This is what it's like to travel Sri Lanka in a curfew. Keep watching. So you see that massive ramming truck? Looks like it's got a snowplow on it. That's a police van. And look at this. This is where the protests were. This is where the violence was. It doesn't look so violent now. You can feel it in the air. You can feel almost sort of confusion and anger. This is what's left of the protest. Hello. You see all this? This is what got destroyed the other day. This is a protest camp, the main protest camp in Colombo. People are literally sleeping there. There's water, free water, there's food, everything. It was a peaceful protest. Some pro-government rioters basically started violence. You see all this is a big encampment. Half of it's taken down, that's been burnt there. You can see there that there's a gazebo that's been burnt. That is a gazebo that I saw on the news get destroyed. Hello, brother.
Hi.
You have anything?
What's your name?
Craig.
Huh?
Craig. What's your name? Gallagher. Nice to meet you. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. So you smell very nice. You smell nice. Yeah. I love you too. You can see that most of the restaurants...
My friend.
Yeah?
My friend.
What are you saying? You going over there? Oh, hello. Nice to meet you.
Sadip.
Sadib. Sadib. Nice to meet you, Sadib. Just doing a news vlog about the protests and the curfew. You know? Sure. But yeah, you can see here that most of the businesses are shut. That there's police there barricading the area. There's police barricades around as well. You see there's police there. Barricades there. Look at that, and a burnt out bus. What? I think that might be like the army place or somewhere like that. Okay guys, we're currently in Colombo. It's 20 minutes past curfew because the bloody bus just waited for an hour. We were meant to get on the fast bus from Negumbo to Colombo, and they just waited for an hour doing nothing. Anyway, it seems like many people are out. The markets are open, the shops and restaurants, a few of them are open, most of them are shut, but there's still people out doing their normal thing. Now we're just trying to get... Everyone's a bit stressed and a bit more angry and shouty today. Maybe because of the curfew. Now we're trying to get to the bus station or the train station, whichever one will take us to Botenta. One bus didn't take us on because we had bags on our back and the bus was quite full. Hello. But you can see, look, the curfew isn't affecting the market here. But yeah, he didn't let us on the bloody bus. First time I've ever been told, no, you can't get on this bus. And we were told it was the last bus out of that town. So we were thinking, oh crap. So we've just paid for extra for an AC bus, waited for an hour doing nothing. Then they swapped us into another bus. And then they said, you're gonna have to pay double now. They took us to the middle of nowhere and said, right, get off this bus, get on that bus, we're not going any further. And then the next bus said you have to pay double because of your bloody bag. Anyway, let's get to the bus station.
Yes, sir.
Where's the bus station?
Railway station.
Bus station.
Bus station.
Yes.
Are the trains going today? The train work today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Train both. Yeah.
Yeah?
Working train.
Sweet. Let's try the train then. We didn't think the train was going to be working because it wasn't working yesterday during the gap to the curfew. So what's happened is there's a curfew because of the protests and stuff, so everywhere has to be shut. It was all day for a couple of days. Now it's just until 7 AM, and between 7 AM and 2 PM you can move, you can go out and move. So that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, we've overshot in our time past the curfew, but that's because the buses are going mental, all the people are going mental. I wish I had my camera in my hand when it was going on. Anyway, this is what Colombo looks like during curfew. This is the curfew now. We've gone into curfew time by about, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And to be honest with you, Colombo looks fairly normal. It's a little bit less busy in places, but I mean, this guy's still carrying his pineapples. The curfew ain't gonna stop him carrying his pineapples, I can tell you that. I've just seen physical evidence. He's still selling his boxes. Right, let's get to the train. Hopefully there's a train. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, they're very lovely, but I've already got some. Thank you. So if anyone's wondering, it's not dangerous in Colombo. It's not dangerous in Sri Lanka. It's going to be a little bit less convenient over the next few days just because of these curfew days. But it's still safe to be a tourist. I know people are trying to say, oh, Sri Lanka's really dangerous right now. It's not dangerous. Don't go and join the protests or anything. I'm not saying that. Other than staying away from the protests, you know, it's just as dangerous or as safe as it always has been.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you? Yes, yes. Okay. Hello. I've got to get a train. Really quick. I've got to be really quick. So there's loads of buses. There's loads of traffic, tuk-tuks and buses. It doesn't look like curfew. When it was curfew up in Jaffna, it was way different to this. There was no one out anywhere. Now, obviously, we don't want to be traveling during curfew. Oh, very nice. We don't want to be traveling out during curfew. It's just the way that it's gone today, to be honest with you. Everything's a little bit up in the air, so all the buses are just, I don't even know what they're doing. They're just not doing the normal routes, and they're going to try and pick up as many people as possible, going here, there and everywhere. They're not letting you on if you've got a bag, but they let the Sri Lankans on. They let the local Sri Lankans on if they've got a big bag. I saw that. So the train station's just over there. It looks like it might be alive. Try not to get hit. So the train's on. Perfect. Trains are going. This is the first piece of good news we've had all day. No trains.
Can I just tell you there were trains?
The policeman just said there's trains.
It looks pretty closed.
Right.
You want to go where?
Bentota.
Bentota?
Mm-hmm.
You take a by bus.
By
Yeah,
bus?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Someone tell us train station open.
No.
Okay, we walked across.
So the train station is closed and there's armed guards out there with guns, so let's leave that alone. Right, let's go get on the bus then. Look how busy it is. Probably 50 people over capacity of the bus at least. Everyone's sort of stood up. You can see here that everyone is just as sardines. It's that full that every time someone gets on the bus, I can feel them getting on the bus because everyone is touching each other. It's absolutely insane. I've never been in a bus that is this busy. Got Jordan back here.
Packed, guys. There's people hanging off the bus.
Can you just show him a shot of the...
Yeah. Check this out, guys. It's crazy. So that's not just because the bus isn't moving right now. Those guys are gonna be hanging off the bus the whole time. You see, we're back in motion, and that's the least packed it's been.
This bus was extra expensive, even though it's a cheap government bus. It was way more expensive than it should be. Maybe that's because we're tourists. Who knows? Maybe it's because there's no buses other than this one. But people are literally fighting each other, trying to get on and off the bus. And I'll catch that next time. You can see here. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. I can hardly move. I'm literally wedged in. I can feel the person next to me breathing. Every deep breath, I can feel it. And the sweat. We have everyone fighting past each other. This It's insane. I'm getting closer to these people than I've got to my family in the past 2.5 years. I don't even know whose sweat is on my body right now. I feel bad for the bus conductor. He has to go collect the money through all this. You can't even walk through it. It's insane. At least we're having a better day than him. There's a bloody bus broke down behind us. We've just parked up next to it. I think it's out of fuel, and I think a whole bunch of people are about to come on the bus. I don't know how that's physically possible, but wow. I tell you what, it's pretty uncomfortable. My left clavicle feels like it's about to pop. It's so painful. Like, this dude's basically sat on my lap. I don't even know his name.
Maybe to get to the diesel station, I don't know.
Looks like we might have given them some fuel or something, because obviously there's a fuel crisis. Loads of garages are shut. It's in between the curfew. The whole country is like shut down. So they're just stranded there on the side of the road. I kind of hope a skinny woman sits next to me, because that dude was crushing me the whole time. And I don't know why he did it, because there were seats when he came and sat down next to me. And Jordan's the tallest person here. I'm the second tallest person here, and he sits next to me. There were seats. I don't understand it. He sat on me. It was insane. Look at this.
My knees were hurting so bad.
He decided to sit here where I already take up half the seat when there were 3 seats. I don't get it. I don't get it. I wanted to ask him, but he didn't speak English. This guy looks kind of skinny.
That guy, he was only 17, but he spoke really good.
Yeah, sit here, sit here. No problem.
So,
You skinny like me, no problem. Easy. Not fat. Honestly, I feel so happy that I've got such a small auntie sat next to me. I feel like I can actually breathe. What's this? Cricket training. Ah, this is my tour guide. You're my tour guide. We're now on a bus tour. How's auntie doing down there? I think auntie's okay. She's just playing with her handbag. Sometimes Jordan struggles with the local dialect. Jordan's currently being punched. Hey, what about me? Yeah!
Hello.
Molly, you want to punch?
alright.
Alright.
I always love my terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
What did he just say, Jordan?
I could explain to you. It's not something that you would probably even be able to get anyway.
Okay.
It's far beyond your mental capacity. Let's
Okay.
just put it that way.
Okay.
You want something?
Supreme.
You want?
No.
You want? You want something?
Some dreams.
Yes. I can. You want?
Some dreams.
Yes. You want? Don't worry. I will give it to you.
What's the dream?
You ask? You like?
What's a dream?
Let's see what's going on.
Ah.
Look at this.
We've got beer,
No.
but I'm not sure it's allowed.
He was asking if we wanted some creams, but he was really saying some drinks.
Ah.
Go ahead then, Craig.
It's illegal.
Hey, whoa. Whoa. Hey, what's this guy doing?
It's legal. Are you, as a local Sri Lankan man, telling me to drink?
You want? No. This is Sri Lanka.
Just throws the beer can out the bus. But that's how they do it in Sri Lanka. It's not what we do in the UK.
I wouldn't condone littering.
You want
I didn't have control.
You want something?
No, Uncle, you provided enough. Uncle, you provide enough. Thank you, Uncle, thank you. He's a good lad, he is.